On February the 21st of 2023, Edgar Ricardo de Oliveira and Ezequias Souza Ribeiro, aged 30 and 27 respectively, were playing pool at a hall in Sinop City, Mato Grosso, Brazil. After losing several consecutive games along with the approximately $3,710 they had placed on bets, the customers present at the establishment began mocking their misfortune. Shortly thereafter, one of the two men walked to his pickup truck and came back holding a pump-action shotgun. In a matter of seconds, he opened fire over the crowd, shooting a man in a white t-shirt at point-blank range as shown on the security cameras. In the meantime, his partner drew out a handgun and joined in the attack, and together they killed all of the 7 customers present in the hall at the time. One of the victims was identified as 36-year-old Getulio Rodriguez Frasal Jr., the man to whom they reportedly lost the money. The duo also gunned down his daughter, Larissa Frasal de Almeida, as she tried to escape the massacre. The other victims, ranging in age from 35 to 48, were named as Oresberto Pereira Souza, Adriana Balbinote, Josu Ramos Tenorio, Masael Bruno de Andrea Costa, and Lizio Santos da Silva. Oliveira and Ribeiro then fled the scene after picking up the money that had been left on the edge of one of the pool tables. 2 days later, on February the 23rd, Ribeiro was tracked down by the military police to a wooded area near the city of Cuiaba, about 9 miles from Sinop. A confrontation ensued that culminated with him being shot. Ribeiro was then taken to a hospital where he succumbed to his wounds. Oliveira was taken into custody from a house in Sinop after he'd surrendered following a negotiation brokered by his lawyer. Number 8. Constancia Duff. On May the 5th of 2013, Metropolitan Police officers in East London, England, were performing a stop and search on a teenager in Hackney. Dr. Constancia Duff, a philosophy professor at the University of Nottingham, stopped to give the young girl a legal advice card, and officers soon arrested her on suspicion of obstruction. She was taken to Stoke Newington Police Station, where she was searched after allegedly refusing to cooperate. The woman was subsequently cleared of her charges in court. Later on, Duff told the media how she was pinned to the floor and bound by her hands and feet, while 3 female officers cut her clothes off with scissors. The academic later obtained security camera footage from inside the police station, which was used in a civil suit that she launched against the force. She released the clip online along with accusations of derogatory language exhibited by officers during and after the search. Cops could be heard mocking the woman's odor and body hair following the procedure. Male officers were making comments with regards to the smell of Duff's clothes and underwear, as well as encouraging their female colleagues in charge of the search to treat the academic as if she were an extremist. The woman was left with a number of visible injuries following the aggressive search. In 2018, Sergeant Curtis Howard, who had ordered the detainment, appeared before a disciplinary panel for gross misconduct. Initially, he was cleared after claiming the search was necessary in order to assess whether Duff posed a risk to herself or not. Then in November of 2022, the Metropolitan Police publicly apologized for the language used during the arrest and revealed that the incident was still under investigation. The authorities settled a claim with the woman for an undisclosed amount, offering her compensation for the way in which she'd been treated. Number 7. Yasmin Walker. 30-year-old Yasmin Walker posted a nude photo of her former lover on one of her social media accounts, along with a derogatory comment regarding his manhood and several laughing emojis, in April of 2021. The picture was seen by a number of her followers, including one of the man's friends, who sent it to him to make him aware of the situation. He was at a movie theater when he received it and immediately got in contact with Walker. The man pleaded with her to delete the picture, but she only did so after being threatened with the police. Later, the victim filed a complaint against Walker. During a trial held at the Scarborough Magistrates Court, defense attorney Graham Parker said the woman had been suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. It allegedly stemmed from abusive former relationships that had left her with defective eyesight due to the physical violence. Walker claimed she'd never intended to publicly share the image and that she had accidentally clicked the wrong button. However, her claim was rejected and she received a 3-month jail sentence at York Crown Court on the charge of disclosing a private photo with intent to cause distress. She had previous convictions for various offenses, including threatening behavior, battery, and drunk driving. Number 6. Christopher Spaulding. Law enforcement in Rockdale County, Georgia, shared a social media photo featuring its top 10 most wanted offenders on November the 28th of 2022. The post caught the attention of a man named Christopher Spaulding, who mockingly commented, "How about me?" thus drawing attention to himself. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office replied shortly, informing the 40-year-old that he had 2 warrants and telling him they were on their way to his location. A few days after the initial post on December the 1st, the authorities shared another photo which showed Spaulding in handcuffs. They informed the public the man had been arrested for felony violation of probation. The post also warned people with warrants that the fugitive unit was actively looking for them even if their picture wasn't included in their top 10 most wanted. Number 5. Anthony Ackers. On November the 29th of 2018, Richland Police Department wrote a post on a social media platform asking for information about 28-year-old Anthony Ackers, who was wanted by the Department of Corrections for failing to check in with his probation officer. Ackers himself replied in the comments section of the post telling the police, "Calm down, I'm going to turn myself in." His reply launched an exchange with officers informing the 28-year-old Navy veteran of the business hours, and a few days later announcing that he hadn't turned himself in yet. In reply, Ackers said that he would come in during the following 48 hours, claiming that he had a few things to do with before surrendering. However, after another failure to show up, Richland Police wrote him an open letter to which Ackers replied yet again in the same fashion. The conversations went viral, and the string of events ended with the man posting a photo from the police's office. After serving a 1-month sentence in jail, Ackers, who had been struggling with addiction and had been in and out of jail since 2006, decided to enroll in Veterans Court. It was a rehabilitation program created to help veterans regain stability and avoid going back to jail. Ackers was reported to have graduated from the Veterans Court on May the 28th of 2021. Number 4. Los Angeles traffic stop. Los Angeles police pursued a suspected car thief in a high-speed chase through the city's downtown area on August the 27th of 2015. The woman behind the wheel refused to stop the vehicle and was running through red lights with her front bumper hanging on the right side. Officers intercepted her with spike strips and the car came to a halt near the 2000 block of East 8th Street after its tires had become deflated. The woman then stepped outside and started dancing in front of police officers, smiling and waving her arms in the air to taunt them. As she saw them approaching, she went back inside the car and she eventually had to be dragged and held down by officers. She was handcuffed on the ground and booked into jail on charges of felony evading and driving a stolen vehicle. Number 3. Chloe Jones. After failing to appear in court on assault charges, 23-year-old Chloe Jones was featured on the most wanted list released by the Greene County Sheriff's Office in Ohio in April of 2019. The list was published online on the department's social media page where Jones saw it and mockingly commented, "Do you guys do pickup or delivery?" with the username Chloe Tyler. She followed up on her message with a sequence of crying from laughter emojis, taunting the authorities. She then proceeded to get into arguments with multiple people who'd criticized her reaction in the comments section of the post. She claimed that her failure to appear in court had been out of her control. As she was replying to other users, the woman revealed several pieces of information about her situation. They included the fact that she had 4 active cases, as well as her location at the time, which was a hospital in Morgantown, West Virginia. Officers consequently went to the hospital and arrested her shortly thereafter. Today's topic was requested by A, B, C. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Carlton Tanue. On March the 14th of 2022, teenager Tyler Hurley, a promising lightweight boxer, boarded the number 173 bus in Dagenham, London, England. He'd done so roughly 20 minutes after leaving classes at the Warren School, and he was still in his uniform. 19-year-old Carlton Tanue was already on the bus when he spotted Hurley on Chadwell Heath High Road. Tanue was carrying 2 large zombie knives, which were concealed, and got off the bus as it stopped to pick up Hurley. He then reboarded at the same time with the teenager after arming himself with one of the knives. Tanua then followed Hurley to the back of the bus and plunged the knife through the back of his arm, almost 10 inches deep into his body. The blade went through his armpit and chest, perforating a major artery and piercing his lung. Hurley collapsed and was reported to have groaned, "I've been stabbed. Call an ambulance." Tanua fled the scene in the immediate aftermath, but a member of the public followed him and subsequently disclosed his location to the police. Tanua was caught 20 minutes later. In the meantime, Hurley was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries in the early hours of March the 15th. In court, Tanua pleaded guilty to 2 counts of being in possession of an offensive weapon. He denied the killing, however, claiming he was on his way to buy a bagel at the time and that he was only carrying the knives for self-defense. After deliberating for about an hour, a jury at Southwark Crown Court found him guilty of murder and sentenced him to life in prison. Judge Deborah Taylor ordered him to serve at least 26 years before he could be considered for parole. In the weeks leading up to the brutal killing, Hurley and his friends had uploaded a drill video online, mocking the stabbing of a member of the DAG 109 gang. The motive for the murder was determined to have been revenge, as Tanua was affiliated with those who were mocked in the video. Before the final listing, we have When Vanity Goes Wrong lined up for you next. The people in this previous release also suffered from plenty of mocking. Number 1. Harry McDowell. In July of 2021, police in North College Hill, Ohio, released a statement that they were searching for 34-year-old Harry McDowell. The man was accused of breaking into the home of the mother of his child twice, assaulting her and damaging her property. He was wanted on charges of aggravated burglary, menacing by stalking, domestic violence, and causing criminal damage. Police told the public that the man was known to frequent the Fairfield and North College Hill areas and asked for information regarding his location. The day after his wanted photo had been posted, Cincinnati-based Facebook user Stephen Keontae Urkel uploaded a photo of their own. It showed Harry McDowell sitting in a red vehicle with his index finger pressed to his lips while holding his printed wanted poster outside the window. The post mocked law enforcement's efforts to find the man. A few days later, McDowell also called North College Hill police to tell them that he wouldn't surrender. It wasn't immediately clear if the man was apprehended. However, as of the latest updates on the matter, his taunting of the police had resulted in the involvement of more departments in the search for him. Number 7. Dennis Avner. American-born Dennis Avner from Flint, Michigan, was referred to as the Stalking Cat after undergoing extreme body modifications to resemble a tigress. The veteran-turned-programmer had been inspired after talking to a native chief to follow the ways of the tiger and started his transformation in his 20s. Spending exorbitant amounts to achieve his look, he underwent a total of 14 surgical procedures, paired with extensive amounts of tattoos and piercings. These procedures including splitting his top lip, pointing his ears, and getting silicone implants in his forehead and cheeks. Along with the body modifications, his final look was complete with whiskers and a mechanical tail. His resemblance to a feline garnered him a lot of attention, and he was even recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records for most permanent transformations to look like an animal. Avner died in 2012 at the age of 54. Number 6. Bethany McPherson. As lip injections had become wildly popular, and as more and more of her friends sported fuller lips, Bethany McPherson decided in 2017 that she wanted them too. After doing some research and reading reviews, the mother of 2 booked an appointment at a place an hour from her home in Livingston, Scotland. Her practitioner was Tammy O'Brien, whom she happily paid just over $200 for the procedure. In April, she went in for her first session but left unsatisfied after a lump formed on her bottom lip. O'Brien had tried to smooth it out, but the two decided that McPherson should return another time to get it fixed. 2 months later, McPherson returned, bringing along her boyfriend. To her surprise, O'Brien tried to correct the botched procedure by injecting her upper lip. The results were worse, and her boyfriend could hear and see her lip pop out unevenly to one side. McPherson called off the appointment as her lips swelled and started to turn black. Her lips continued to swell hours after she got home. She sent a picture to the beautician, who advised her to go to the emergency room. The plastic surgeons had never seen the likes of it and warned her that she could have gone blind, believing the filler had been injected into an artery. After 4 hours of treatment, she was sent home to recover, only to return weeks later. She had developed sepsis from an abscess in her lip and was hospitalized again, this time for 2 weeks. Doctors warned her if she hadn't come in, she wouldn't have made it through the night. After everything she'd gone through, McPherson said she'd still get fillers because she thought they looked good. Number 5. Christina Burton. Manchester resident Christina Burton wanted fuller lips, but sticking to a budget, she opted for a £75 or $103 at-home procedure, set up comfortably in her own home. The beautician started by applying a topical numbing cream to her lips. The cream felt uncomfortable immediately, but the beautician assured her the reaction was normal, as numbness can feel like swelling. She was in pain, but carried on and got 1 ml of filler injected into her lips. For hours after the procedure, her lips continued to swell, spread into her nasal pathway and throat. She tried antihistamines and painkillers, but the discomfort turned to fear as she started to struggle to breathe and swallow. She called an ambulance, who treated her at home for 45 minutes, stabilizing her with adrenaline, oxygen, and a nebulizer. Burton stated she'd considered just going to bed before calling an ambulance, but then realized she would have likely died. Still massive by the time she got to the hospital, her lips felt as if they had their own pulse and hung so heavy that she couldn't open her mouth. Released from the hospital the following night, Burton began sharing photos on social media. One of her friends apparently vomited at the sight, while many others assumed it was an outlandish filter. When a professional plastic surgeon was referred, he was incredulous that people get medical procedures done in their homes. Having paid only £75 or $103, he heavily questioned what was in Burton's fillers, as a 1 ml vial alone would be at least £55. Burton admitted to being tempted on multiple occasions to get them again, but in the end was too scared. Number 4. Ollie London and Angelique Frenchie Morgan. Reality stars Ollie London and Angelique Frenchie Morgan found each other online through a shared obsession with plastic surgery and K-pop. While living in Korea in 2013, London was introduced to K-pop and was taken away at how perfect the artists appeared. He developed a fixation for Jimin from the group BTS and became obsessed with becoming his exact replica. After spotting Morgan on Celebrity Big Brother, London reached out to her, and the two bonded over their obsession with changing their appearance constantly to look like their idols, a Korean heartthrob and a life-size anime doll, respectively. London and Morgan spent a combined $322,500 and went under the knife 24 times. To achieve what he calls his complete makeover, London underwent 5 nose jobs, cheek and jawbone reduction, chin surgery, liposuction, and eye surgery. Desiring his whole life to revolve around Jimin, he both wanted to look like him and had a crush on him. It was so accentuated that London went on to marry a cardboard cutout of him in Vegas in front of an Elvis Presley impersonator, subsequently describing it as the best moment of his life. Morgan admitted that at first she had been quite jealous of the cutout, but that they grew to share it, claiming their obsession with plastic surgery had made their relationship stronger, not harder. On her end, she had 3 procedures to her breasts, 2 nose jobs, permanent lip filler, and numerous rounds of Botox. According to updates on their ongoing obsession, Morgan said they planned to continue having surgery and that she was about to spend $50,000 on 5 more procedures. Number 3. Amber Luke. Born with blonde hair and fair skin, Amber Luke from Brisbane, Australia, hated the way she looked growing up. She suffered from low confidence and depression until the age of 16, when she gave herself an at-home tattoo. The first tattoo started a 9-year-long transformation where Luke took back control of her appearance through tattoos and piercings. She spent over $120,000 on 600 tattoos, 13 piercings, plastic surgery, and multiple body modifications. She had a butt lift, breast augmentation, 600 tattoos, 13 piercings, and had her tongue split twice. Her most dangerous procedure by far was tattooing her eyeballs with blue ink. During the procedure, the tattoo artist went too deep, and Luke was left blind for 3 weeks. Changed to a striking, unnatural blue, she believed her eyes to have been the most drastic change to her body. Number 2. Allegra Cole. In 2018, 44-year-old social media celebrity and model Allegra Cole went on the popular TV show Botched to even out her lopsided breasts. She admitted to self-inflating her implants with saline solution until they grew to 4,600 cc and weighed 20 pounds. It was neither the size nor the weight that bothered Cole, as she was there to achieve symmetry and specifically asked Dr. Terry Dubrow and Dr. Paul Nassif not to reduce them in any way. Cole got her first breast implants at the age of 33. She started with 800 cc's and remembered getting an onslaught of compliments and a confidence boost. But 800 cc wasn't even close to the size she desired, and she financed her next set of implants by using a website where men offered to pay for the procedure. Cole got another set put in, bringing her total up to 1,700 cc. Despite waking up from the surgery feeling like an elephant was on her chest, Cole admits the feeling made her feel good and got what she refers to as boob greed. She wanted to do it again and go even bigger. Craving more control over her breast size, she found a doctor with a solution that would allow her to go bigger. The doctor gave her a tissue expander in which she could use saline solution to grow her own implants. Within 5 months, she had more than doubled them in size to 4,000 cc, describing them as the cutest weight vests you've ever had. She began to go to the gym regularly to keep her upper body and core strong enough to hold them up. The more they expanded, the more lopsided they became. But she managed to regain their symmetry and their 54-inch circumference. While many refer to her case as an example of plastic surgery taken too far, Cole loved her implants, which earned her the attention of 1.4 million followers on social media. Number 1. Jordan James Park. Branded as Britain's lip king, Jordan James Park has had a staggering 50 procedures to plump his look. He gained recognition in 2015 when he went on Channel E's show Botched with leaky lip fillers. In an attempt to copy his icon, Kim Kardashian, he spent over $170,000 on lip fillers, Botox, eyebrow tattoos, and laser hair removal over a 6-year period. On top of fixing his leaking lips, the self-proclaimed addict asked for the doctors to give him a smaller nose despite admitting that he could barely move his face. They refused, physically demonstrating how the procedure could hinder his breathing. In January of 2019, Park returned on Botched to try his luck once again. Doctors Paul Nassif and Terry Dubrow were shocked at how much his face had transformed in just a few years. Park ended up thanking the doctors for advising him to ease up on fillers, but then asked them if they could give him liposuction and a 4th nose job. He attempted to persuade them by saying he was experiencing breathing issues, but acknowledged they were most likely caused by previous procedures. To Park's horror, they told him more liposuction would likely make his stomach looser, and fixing his nasal canal would require making his nose wider. Once again, Park was refused by the celebrity doctors and was strongly advised against any future procedures. Not heeding their advice, he later traveled to Turkey to get bum implants. What he got instead was breast implants, which ruptured, leaked, and caused a gaping hole in his backside. He was later diagnosed with necrosis and was warned he likely would have died of sepsis had they been left in longer. Still not put off, he decided to just book a different clinic for his second bum lift. Thanks for watching. Would you rather be roasted by your favorite comedian or have a song made about you by your favorite artist? Let us know in the comments section below.